Hello and welcome, or welcome back. Today I wanted to share a tour of my plaza. The reason I decided I wanted to show everyone a tour of my plaza is because I want to completely revamp it for Valentine's Day and spring. I know we are still in winter and I'm currently a resident of Florida and it is snowing in Florida as of last week. We are getting snow and it's not that I'm tired of winter. I've had it this way for a couple of months and I thought that now would be the time to remodel everything. I figured I may as well show you what it is like now before I remodel it, and then I can share my remodel in this same video so it can be kind of like a 2-for-1 video. I'm just gonna give you like a little overview of how I have my layout, and once I'm done with that, I will just tear everything down and redo it. I know that plaza tours are in high demand because everybody wants to do their plaza differently. I've found that every single plaza I see someone else has done, I just want that plaza. It's so funny. I could remodel my plaza probably 100 times and just continue to remodel it. Whenever I was designing my plaza, I decided that I currently play on Switch and I will continue to play on Switch because I like to take my game with me. But because I play on Switch, the item limit is absolutely a problem for me. Because of that, I had to go with the city core look because you don't need as many items. I put my confectionery over here in the corner. In the future, I plan on ripping down my entire plaza and completely remodeling it because I am ready for a change and I would like to change the layout, absolutely. Until that time comes, I am actually waiting until I redo my sunlit plateau before I decide to do my plaza remodel. So once my sunlit plateau is remodeled, I will redo my entire plaza, but I'm just going to keep refreshing it until that time comes. Over on the other side, I put Oswald's, but I'm going to show you from the front. And the one good thing for us Switch players is that there are a lot of options for city core items. So if you are looking for a design that is very comfortable with the item limit, city core is going to be your go-to move. I really like all these little center areas because it adds greenery and it doesn't feel too concrete jungle. And then over here, this is definitely my brick jungle. And you can see I even put in the snowy path. I love that we can finally change all of the pathways out. Whenever Gameloft implemented that, I was so excited because it completely gives an area a complete different feel to it whenever you just change the pathing. So if you ever feel bored of your space but you don't want to remodel it, I would personally recommend just changing your pathing and then everything will feel quite different. I'll go over here so you can see a little front view. I did try to keep it quite green because in Florida we don't really get snow until this year, apparently. I really like the view. For the time of the day, I try to pick where the sun is highest in the sky because unfortunately, the sun doesn't hit the buildings the way that I have them, which is why I mostly want to change my layout because I think that the buildings are so much more attractive whenever the sun is directly on them. I'm hoping that Gameloft fixed the shadow issue in this game because I think the way that they've coded and programmed the shadows, it's very unflattering to a lot of the buildings and it makes them feel a lot more flat than they intended. But when the sun hits the buildings, I find them actually quite beautiful. So there you have it. And I do like that you can see my Asian area up top in the sunlit plateau. I think it's pretty cute. I will be moving all of that soon, so it will be gone, but that's for future me to deal with. So this is my plaza. All right, now it's time to tear it down. And of course, I almost forgot to show a top view of my plaza, but for anybody who is interested in looking at the layout, or as I like to refer to it, blueprint of my plaza, this is how it looks currently. I was probably inspired by something I saw online, but at this point I can't recall because I did decorate and design my plaza over a year ago. I've actually had the game since a month after its inception, I believe, and the confectionery always disappears. How funny is that? It used to confuse me for the first 2 times I zoomed out. Here you have over here, this layout works. I know that we can get a lot more items and buildings in this area, but again, I'm maxed out on my item limit, so I try to make my areas feel as lush as possible using these items right here. This particular one is a go-to item that I use all the time because it is a couple items in one, so it is very Switch friendly. Alrighty, let's remove all of the winter. Okay, for anybody who is wondering, this is now what my plaza looks like with absolutely no winter in it, not even those trees back over there. I managed to get everything decorated where only flowers spawn on the grass, no spices spawn in my plaza on the grass, and I managed to get it perfect where all of my flowers spawn, but not one spice spawns. This is the plaza. I'll just give you a quick little run through so you can see what it looks like not decorated for a particular theme, and I am quite pleased with the plaza, but again, I'm bored of it and I can't wait to redecorate it, but that will be a future me endeavor. Here we are. Very pretty. I would like my buildings to face the other way because of the way the sun beams on the game. It rises right there and then it sets right there. So all my buildings need to face the other way or just inwards. I'm not too sure. I've seen a lot of ideas that I would love to follow along with. And then how did that get there? Like, how did I not notice that? I cleaned my whole plaza up for you guys and then this was right here. Rude, Rock, rude. All right, let's decorate. All right, don't be mad, but I had to go off camera to do a bunch of redesigning because I realized that a couple of things were off by 1 square and I didn't want you to suffer with me, and my controller doesn't want to snap things to the one piece of grid that I keep trying to snap things to. But I'm seeing over here currently that I'm very squished in this area. And because I'm so squished, I have to bring everything in, and I'm very, very happy with this right here. So this is enough space for me to whiz around the valley, and because that is enough space, now I know I have to change this. And this right now, I'm just not happy with it because it's just so busy. So I messed around and I changed it to this over here. And I think because the edges, I have so much popping out that I should really just switch this other side. This was my little test. I only do one side at a time, make sure I like it. I decided that I like this, so I'm going to come back over here and I'm just going to change it. I know, I'm getting rid of all these cute Valentine's Day things, but honestly, it's just not, it's just too busy and it's not cute, so I need to fix this. Oh. And then, so this is what else I did. I had to change the fencing because the brick just did not go with the aesthetic that I was shooting for. Because of that, I had to change it so that all of the pathing goes directly into the building, and then I made these little bump pop outs of little city, I like to, beast, excuse me, rude, get out of my way. I made this little pop out of like a planter bed. So this is typically what you would see in an actual city, unlike what I had before. And it's not symmetrical, but I think that that's okay because I don't think most people are going to be looking for symmetry here. And as long as it doesn't offend my eyes, I'm okay with that. It's working, and see, that looks much better. It doesn't look chaotic, and I like maximalist, but I also don't like chaos. So my OCD, it's just too messy, so I'm gonna switch it. All right, let's get her switched. Okay, done. So I now currently have this side matching my other side, and I think that this is much, much better. Not only is it more functional, but it does use a couple less items, which is always good because I am at the top of my item limit, but somehow I've managed to not hit it because I haven't hit it, and I need to make sure that I have enough items in this biome for whenever I do redecorate it. I am going to finally get to decorate this area because I never had enough item limit to get this area beautifully decorated. So I don't know what I'm going to do here yet. I'm going to play around with a couple ideas and then I'll come back and show you. I would let you go through my design process with me, but it's going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of in and out of furniture and camera mode. And then in addition to that, I don't have the space on my computer. So I'm going to play around with this, and this is what it currently looks like. I'm not a big fan of this big open area. I definitely, whenever I redesign everything, I have no idea what my layout's going to be, but it's not going to be this. All right, let's go. My plaza is complete. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of this completed plaza, and I do apologize now ahead of time for any and all footage I did not capture. I just don't have the space because every gig of filming is 1 minute, so that is why I ran out of space. I'm here to show you everything that I've completed, and I did want to show this area over here. In every single biome, I currently have an area where I do all of my crafting, cooking, and storage for each biome. I don't know how many newbies are watching this, but I found that this is very easy. I do all of my storage like this in each and every biome, and I try to have one of everything in my house as well for if I'm in another area and I need a present for somebody. And then I do a gemstone chest. That is the one that I guess it transcends all biomes. This particular chest, that's how I've loaded it. And as I'm mining, I just drop everything off in here, and I have another one where all of my gems are stored, just in case anybody's looking for an an idea to make their lives a little bit easier, that's what I've done there. And then you could see I tucked my ancient vacuum away in that area. I have both of the expansion packs. Here, Ursula has to be a part of everything, is how I decided to design my plaza. I did these little bump out areas because I thought that in a city, I really enjoyed the way that this looks. And in between each house, I wanted a little bit of a city garden. And this is how I imagined that they would look in my game. I would say that each of these are a little bit of a vignette, and I chose to add as many of these Italian cypress trees as possible in my design because I feel like these trees very much elevate a design and they have an air of sophistication, and I think that that's the look I was going for, and it helped me accomplish it. And back over here so you can see what the design looks like from the front walking in and from the back. And of course everybody has to join in on this filming party. I feel like they know I'm filming. And over here I changed this entire area on the left side of my Monsters Inc. apartment house, and then also the skin over here on the right. Between these two areas I made it a nice little garden pop out, and I also had to change all of the fencing to this fencing because the red brick fencing did not match the aesthetic I was going for, unfortunately. Even though that's probably one of my favorite fencings, this might be also my favorite fencing. So don't tell the fencing I told you who's my favorite. I don't know, this might be my new favorite. And over here I will do another little spin around so that you can see how I decided to decorate the area. And I didn't put that much lighting in because my item limit is quite low, and being on the Switch, you know, quite low as in only 3,000 versus the amazing 6,000 that PC players have. Over here, okay, I'll be honest. I filmed this whole plaza tour and then I didn't like the way that this area looked, so I added a lot more to it and then I refilmed it. So I hope that I'm explaining everything because this is the second time I'm sharing the tour. And you know, sometimes you redo something and you feel like the first one's better. I don't know. Because I had enough of an item limit to add some greenery over in this area, I put another one of these little pop-out garden areas in front of my confectionery, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out because again, the Italian cypress really suits that elegant romantic design I was going for, and I do find that elegance sometimes feels romantic. I have a piano over here because I feel like that also suits the theme I was going for with that Valentine's Day love theme. And over here I've kept my little transporter or teleporter, I don't know the name of it, but I kept this over in that area and I added these little archways because I removed them from the center area. And I'm gonna go over here so that you guys can see how this looks. I think that it does a nice job in breaking up the visual of that, and it looks quite nice. And I did want everything to feel nice and lush and very, what's the word I'm looking for? I just wanted everything to feel very nice and lush. I think I did accomplish that. And then over in this area, I left the little brick fencing because it makes a nice barrier so you can't see the transition of the grass and this brick flooring that I added in. And I didn't go with the pavement that has the border because this blended a little bit better, but that's why I left those brick fences over there, is because it hid that transition quite nicely. And then over in this area, I had a little bit of fencing and it wasn't very functional, but I just left it that way and I didn't have another idea. But whenever I was redesigning it, when I threw in these planters and then I did the fencing all the way to the edge, because it wasn't originally like this, I realized that I didn't need that piece of fencing that was in this area. So sometimes just delete an area and redo it and you'll be surprised with what your mind comes up with. But again, I went with like the pink and the very, very lush garden theme, that spring decor, Valentine's Day look. Just, it's perfect for this area. And I'm gonna go back over in this direction so you can see how beautiful the city pathing looks and these little garden pop-outs. It feels like a place I would love to be. And also with these cherry blossom trees here in the center, I originally just had flowers down in the little piles. It needed something more, and I think that adding the Italian cypress with this other version of Italian cypress, I don't know if they're both Italian cypress, this is a nice vignette as well, and it makes it feel very lush, whereas before with just the flowers it felt a bit empty, and I really wanted it to feel quite maxed out with my design. And then I was talking about being concerned about having spawning spices everywhere. And that's why I had to refilm everything, is because I realized they were spawning everywhere I didn't want them to. And then I was losing the extra 10 items that I could put down. And it's vital that I have all that I can possibly manage. So I put a bunch of flowers where spices were spawning and tried to put pathing down in areas where they could still fit, and maybe a flower didn't quite fit. And then this little area over here with the caterpillar, I love this little caterpillar so much with the Italian cypress. And then so it had a bit of a whimsical feel to it. I added some mushrooms in so that 1, spices couldn't spawn, and 2, spices couldn't spawn. And I put in those little flowers because that spice kept spawning in front of the caterpillar, but flowers wouldn't fit, which was very interesting. This area, this is another area that I had to completely redo because I just wasn't happy with what I did the first time around. A lot of times I find that whenever I come back to a design, I have to come back to a design. Like I'll do something and I like it, but I'm not too sure what I want to do, and maybe my creative juices are just not flowing any longer, and I have to wait 24 hours and come back. And that's what I ended up doing with this area. So I could say that this plaza took me over the course of 2 days to complete. While it didn't take that many hours, I just needed a little bit of time. And then this area in here, you can see another spice spawn. So I'll pick that and I'll put up a little piece of pathing that no one will notice, because I don't like whenever the spices are spawned in an area that I don't want them to and I don't need them. And then on either side of Oswald, put this little garden area, and then I just flipped it for the other side for that symmetry, because I feel like the symmetry with elegance is, it makes decorating not only easier and faster, it's a simple way to decorate. And I didn't know how much time I wanted to put in this area or get too emotionally attached, because I do want to rip it down and try something new. And if I put too much time into decorating, I'm afraid that I'll not rip it down. So let's see what happens in the future. And then you can see it's pretty symmetrical with the other side. It's not exact, and I wasn't trying to be perfect or exact. And of course, there's more spices and they're like, these spices.
The spice extends life. The spice expands consciousness.
Let me turn that off, Game Loft. I digress. So that's how the Oswald area came out, and I put in a couple of little water fountains at the front. I honestly just needed something in the color tones that matched, as well as had a nice effect to it. I was thinking of putting benches in there, but I already used benches, and that's why I ended up going with the little Hercules fountains. But this is my plaza, and I hope you all enjoy. I'll give you another quick walkthrough in case you wanted to see how it looks from this angle. And then I also don't think that I showed what I did with the benches over here. Let me go over here really quickly. And I'm not gonna try to swing the camera too fast or walk too fast for anybody needing to use this as their inspiration. And so you don't have to pause the video and it be blurry. I ended up putting these 2 light fixtures on either side of the bench, and I really like them. Those weren't there before either. It's funny.
It's a little bit funny. This feeling inside.
How much more I added and changed once I decided after 24 hours that I wasn't happy with the way that I left it. I didn't even have some of these bushes over here. It does feel nice and lush, and it's pink, it's very spring core, it's very Valentine's Day themed, and it's very romantic, and I think that I nailed the elegance. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know I should continue making these videos, because sometimes I do wonder, should I keep making these videos? It is very fun to share my designs, and I do hope that they bring you inspiration. I'm finding a hard time finding more and new inspiration because I'm consuming all of it when I go to bed at night. That's what I watch, is people's builds and valley tours. So if you feel inspired, maybe make some videos. And if not, just keep watching other people's videos and tell them that you like their videos and they're great for inspiration. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. Bye, everybody.